Hi, thanks, Ella, to invite me today to be part of this event that I think is always nice to have this space to do some networking, but also to share new ideas. Um, First, when I was talking with Ella about what we can do with this partnership that we have, is we try to find some tips that might be helpful for you when you start to think to go internationally. I think it's important to give you a bit of background of myself so you can understand what I can help you now from remote, but also previously. I have been working with remote since 2021, taking care of Southern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And right now I'm more focused on Iberia. But previously I have been working on companies as Randstad, with having experience with staffing, outsourcing, recruitment, also Be Wanted, that is more focused for trainees, Glassdoor, employer branding, and also Indeed, that is a job board. So as you can see, it's always services HR related. That is, I think, is really helpful for this kind of community. When we were preparing, is like, okay, which will be the three main questions that we can try to answer here? First one will be like, what to know before to hire talent abroad. When you start to decide to go international, for sure you will have different doubts, for sure different approach, but we are going to give you, I'm going to try to share with you some tips that might be helpful. And also, what are the keys to being attractive in a free, flexible, and really competitive environment out there? And because now, as you know, everything is global. And what regulations should you take into account? Depending, I will try in those 15, 20 minutes to answer all those. Any questions that you might have, I will be happy to answer in the meantime or at the end of the presentation after Santi. So first of all, I guess that everyone wants to become an unicorn, but it's also important to try to find and try to fight for those talent unicorns that we have outside. When we are starting to think to go internationally, perhaps sometimes we pick up one country, let's say France. When we use there's different tools, like I just post here one for talent, LinkedIn, Talent Insights, that for sure you are familiar with. If you go, for example, to France, to post a job, you want to try to find some software developers, what you are going to see. That LinkedIn is going to tell you in which countries and which cities you are more competitive, but it's also is going to let you know who is your competitors. So here, when you go for your competitors, you need to know if you want to actually compete against them, or if you are able to compete against Capgemini or Teles. Perhaps this competition sometimes is not only health insurance, but it could be also to offer remote job or hybrid roles or birthday, PTO day, holiday days. We can be creative here, but you always need to go one step further. We can stay like regular way, just focus on one country, or perhaps we can go more Europe-wide, like try to open talent. Once that we, for example, decide to hire people remotely, if that will be one of the cases, doesn't matter if this person is in France, or if it's in Germany, or if it's in the US. So let's try to find those unicorn talent outside where everyone goes. Like, for example, if we go to softwares, UK will be high demand and France will be high demand and Germany will be high demanded, but not Italy. So perhaps we can try to find a good software developer for us in Italy, and later we will decide if it's a contractor, full-time employee, it will move to our headquarters or if not. But at least we know where we can be attractive. One of the things that we just start to populate 2 months ago is our job board that I want to show to you, because I think that is really interesting when we go to try to hire people abroad, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you can try to post a job remotely, 100% remotely globally, but perhaps you can do it just for one country, or you can do it for one continent. And there is one thing that I really love it. You can choose Asia and Pacific. You can use plus minus one country. So like, for example, Perhaps your headquarters in UK, but you don't care, hire someone from South Africa because it's more or less the same time zone, same language. So this gives you another variety and open the talent needs that you might need. So also, once that you, perhaps Santi will help you to find the talent later, but once that you have the people, let's think. If these people is willing to move where I have the headquarters, great. I can hire them directly from my legal entity. Perhaps I want to keep them in that country because while the probation period, the employee and the company decide it makes sense to move this person, because sometimes the movement is not just the employee, it's also the family. While he's abroad, what are we going to do? Hire him as a contractor or hire him as a full-time employee? Why I tell you those things? Because there is some ways to do it. Previously, there was like, okay, I open my legal entity in Brazil, US, X, or sometimes you can use different formulas as employer record that can hire on your behalf while you have those people working remotely and they are not in your country. So there's different formulas to hire those people. When you have to decide between doing contractors or doing full-time employees, you also might need to understand which is the difference. Sometimes most of the people think they know, but there is more behind. For example, if we go for contractors, the great thing here is that it's less admin, it's more flexible. You have fewer obligations employer-wise, but also the engagement is much lower. So perhaps for few projects make sense, or while you open a new market, could make sense. But also if you want to keep growing or you want to be more engaged with that employee, perhaps make more sense to go to full-time. For sure, full-time is going to be more cost. And I'm going to share now a tool that is going to help you to see the difference of cost calculator depending on the country. But also one of the things that you need to pay attention when you hire contractors is if they are real contractors. If they are not fake contractors, if we are not going to misclassification risk, because depending on the country, those misclassification risks can be just a fine, but in other ones can be also some jail penalties. So that's why to make sure that we hire the people according to the local regulation and the correct way could be really important. One of the things that I'm going to share with Ella, to share with you later on, it will be a link where you can see if you're on misclassification risk or not. But I think it's something important to know. Like, for example, I took France again as an example, that these countries are really risk rating, because it's not just that you can have some penalties, but you also can some criminal persecution. So those fake contractors can be more risky than we think sometimes. So just if anytime you have any questions related to this, I'm more than happy to have a call and try to help you here. Related to costs, what is going to be the cost if we go to France, if we go to UK, if we go to United States, or if we go to Brazil to hire different employees? Imagine that I just took an average salary of 100K, a nice one, but is one that is much, much easier when you are comparing. So if we go to Spain, the cost will be 115. We might think that US will be the cheaper one and Brazil will be the highest one. But the thing here is that it's not only the cost calculator, what we need to take in consideration is also if we might offer health insurance, for example, in the country to be attractive. Like, doesn't make sense, or it's almost impossible to hire someone in the US without a nice health insurance. While, or against that in Brazil is already included on the mandatory employer cost. To try to be more visual, I'm going to share this cost calculator. Let me see. Okay. This is something that you can have access directly, and it's not cost related. You just sign up in remote. And what I like here is you can work in two things. One, if you already have the annual salary of the employee, or that's actually, this one is huge, is you just have a hiring budget. Because depending on that, you can go to one country, you can go worldwide. Like for example, employee annual salary. Let's say I will go worldwide. Let's say that we are talking to pay in euros. Let's say 50K, and we do an estimation. You are going to see, depending on the country, how much is going to be the cost. But here it's important to let you know that our fee is included on this estimation, but this is something really easy to remove now with the breakdown. So in Brazil, for example, for instance, 50K salary. The cost, it will be 83 divided 18,000 just for mandatory employer cost. Core benefits will be 3,000. Those are extra payments that you have to do in the country. And this is our management fee, but it's not related here. So at least with this, you know, when you are talking with a future employee, how much is going to be the cost, independently if you do it with a UR, if you do it directly, or if you use a staffing agency. Always you are going to have a cost here. What I also want to show you, that is actually the next thing that I think is important, is depending on the country, what is going to be key for those employees. Like for example, in India, you should offer life insurance. In New Zealand, doesn't matter if you offer health insurance, you have to go with other benefits. And in the US, as we said previously, is something that you have to offer. So Ella, this is also something that I can share with you, that is like a remote benefits directory. This is not just because it's something that we can offer, but this also can give you a guide of what will be interesting for you when you go abroad. That I think that this is key, because tell you, like for example, Albania, you should offer health insurance, dental insurance, etc. I feel I'm going too fast, but I want that you take the most as possible in those 20 minutes. For sure, what is key is to take care of your employer branding. You can do all the effort, but if you don't check what is saying from you on Glassdoor, Indeed, Trustpilot, or even do always a fast research on Google, this might help you a lot, because every job seeker is going to check what's going on. So if we are saying that the management is micromanagement, or we are saying that sales team is not working well, etc., is something that you always need to try to control as much as possible. Like any other thing that we do when we're trying to book a travel, we always will go to check-in booking. It will be the same. And last but not least, one thing that I love, that one of the things that we have is we are really transparent. This is part of our core values. If you go to remote.com website and you go to the country explorer, you are going to see all the countries that where we can help you as EOR. So that's mean hire full-time employees on your behalf, or help you to manage contractor management. But what I like from here is, if I do the same example for Brazil, you are going to see some local regulation that might be helpful for you. Like, for example, which is the minimum wage? If we go from Europe to LATAM, it's really easy to meet this expectation of minimum wage. But sometimes when we go Iberia, for example, against Switzerland, it's really easy, or it's kind of difficult to sometimes meet this minimum wage. So it's something that's nice to take in consideration. Also, payroll cycles. Some countries will have to pay bi-weekly, other ones once per month. This is the onboarding time that we need. Like, for example, the average will be 3-5 days. So we are really fast doing this. We are really used to. Bank holidays in the country. More important thing that you are going to see, if we have benefits. What I like from here. This is the same thing that I already shared with you about employer cost, that you are going to have to employ someone in the country. But what I love as well is that you are going to see employee payroll taxes and employee income taxes. This info is something that you are going to find in each country. So this is like, actually, that is great for a start in certain point to hire remotely, type of lists that you have in the country, like which is the statutory calendar days for pay annual leave, pregnancy, paternity, other kind of leaves, and everything related to termination, notice, severance, and probation. So all this is really important to take in consideration before to go abroad. For sure, you have companies as Remote that might help you to do your life much easier, but at least I hope that with these tips, you have something to start with. One thing that I also will suggest is that if you are thinking to hire people in different countries, if that is your situation, try to find any HRIS system that help you to visualize all the employees in once. So this will help you to grow up and grow accelerated at least. For our site, just let you know that we can help you with find, hire, pay, and manage everything except recruitment. It's something that we can do for you. So saying this, I hope that I answered the 3 ones: what to do before hire talent abroad, what are key to be attractive, and which regulation and where you can find certain regulation before to go internationally. Happy to help, happy to have any call with you in any moment. So now I let you, Santi, to talk.
So first of all, I want to present myself. I'm Santi Molins, CEO of TalentFY, also a co-founder. I love how tech could impact in business. I'm a tech business believer. I fully believe that technology may change almost every industry, almost in every country. And that's what we are trying. In fact, it's what we are trying here at TalentFY, trying to disrupt the tech recruiting sector. Apparently, I'm probably new in this talent sector. Previous TalentFY, I worked for 2 years in a company in the tech talent sector, and before this previous company, I didn't work in anything similar to tech talent. I came from a strategy consultant, and I consider myself resilient and always wanting to learn more. And this is a sentence I like. Try to learn from every part, and it's important today because we make a forum for that. So what we are going to talk to is about the IT talent landscape, mainly in Europe. Sorry, because I saw that there are people here from Mexico and Brazil, but I have no data there. Sorry. And how to hire and retain tech talent, which apply to everywhere in the world. So it will also be helpful to Brazilian and Mexican people here. So what about hiring tech talent? Is it a real big drama? And the answer is yes. Here we have some public notes from Forbes, Silicon Republic, the city, and the fact is that there are 2 main factors. The problem of a shortage. We know that the demand is 3 times the offer, and that the fact that this gap is increasing every time. My suggestion here is try to advise your children to study something related to IT because they will have no problems finding new jobs. And also there is a problem of retention. And from my perspective, the problem is, or the problem, what happened is that the tech talent find another job as easy as we can earn €1, and the problem is that probably the job that they are doing in your company is pretty similar with the new job. So the change for them is not a big problem. I gathered some data we have in TalentFY that the 60% of the companies show difficulties in finding IT and digital talent, and this will be normal for you because technology is increasingly helping business, and it's normal that there are more and more vacancies and more companies that need these vacancies. So my suggestion here is try to plan tech investment as soon as possible, and don't wait to be left behind. Another important metric is the the percentage of active people in the tech sector that are looking for in job offers. There are only 15%. It means it's only 1 over 6 people who is looking in talent job offers, and probably this one person is not the most suited one for you. And here the thing is that if you compare, this is a European community data. If you compare with the total active people, that is the 55% of total population that is actively working, that are looking for job posted. And if you compare 55 to only 15%, so it explains what happened. If you want to invest in employer branding, it will be a really good solution, and also try to rely on a service of recruiting partner to help you finding the best IT tech profiles. 40% of the job offers in 2030 doesn't exist today. What I mean here, if you could ask 2 years ago about ChatGPT, you have to know that only today ChatGPT generates 8 new kind of profile vacancies in a year and a half that exists ChatGPT. And what will happen is that in 2030, 40% of the different vacancies, different kind of vacancies, will be totally new for us right now. And it's a metric of 2021. It's talking about the decade of the 2020. That's because technology is evolving very fast, as we all know. So the importance here is to not underestimate the tech talent, and not to underestimate the importance of the very edge of the innovation. And last but not least, percentage of engagement. 21% of Generation Z, I think it's beginning 2001, I will say. No, beginning 2001, consider themselves not committed. Sorry, only 21% considered committed. So 79%, 4 over 5 people, considered themselves not committed to the company or the job they work for. It's a percentage much lower than the baby boomers. That is the 74%. Generation X, what is 72%, and even millennials, what is myself, that it's 51%. I'm probably one of the 51%. So here, what I suppose to take a conclusion or to make a suggestion is try to engage key employees. Try to hire key employees as personal moderation as you can. And on the other hand, try to make your onboarding and training employee the most flexible you can, because they will change, they will leave your company before you want, and that will happen. Sorry for that, but it's important to take in mind the expectations they have to. So overall, what these metrics are saying, at least to me, is that tech profiles and it happens even more with tech young profiles is hard to hire, hard to engage them, take care with them. And how to take care is what I want to talk at the end, is what they look for. Okay. Most of these metrics came from a study with Indeed. Maybe I didn't know, Beatriz, you work in Indeed. Maybe you know better than me these metrics. It said that 95% of candidates consider conditions in the remote on-site work format to be a key factor when they change the jobs to choose what jobs fits better. To be clear, that doesn't mean that they want 100% fully remote. Most of they want, as you all know. But what I mean here is that the company politic about remote on-site politic should fit in the candidate preference. probably we used to think about the fit with culture, the fit with mission, values of the company and the candidate. Do not forget the type of work, the type of remote and site work, because it's important. Most candidates also choose the new job because of the innovation strategy. They want real changes on what they are doing. They want unique solutions in the market. I help companies hiring tech profiles that they are not as big as, I help companies as Telefónica, but also help startups, and candidates doesn't want to be a Telefónica because it's one of the biggest companies or tech companies in Spain. They want real changes in their job position and on what they are doing. What I mean is, if I'm another DevOps at Telefónica, probably my work doesn't change the world. If I'm the only DevOps in a startup that is currently giving a totally new solution in, I don't know, in the airplane sector, probably I prefer this job. Oh, sorry, I didn't. That's okay. And also important, they always bet on learning. Is for me, I would say that is even more important than most kind of jobs, in technology than in most kind of jobs, because a developer or DevOps or whatever you can imagine in tech profiles, they used to change pretty soon, like every 2-5 years, the technology, the stack they work on. So they need to constantly learning new technology, new methodologies, new stacks, new whatever. So they put more effort and they thank the company that had them to learn. So many employees look to the company to facilitate this professional development. Okay. And absolutely, not only economic salary that you all know, last but not least, the emotional salary. Tech candidates are not cheap. We all know they tend to be very expensive. They will get even more expensive with AI, but money is not the only factor they look for, especially once they are in the company. For retention, one of the most common reasons they quit the job is the emotional salary. So once they achieve, I would say, a good salary, a very good salary, because they earn a lot, and they will stay at your company if they come to work happy. And that could mean nothing or everything, but it's important. If you pay them with emotional salary, they will stay with you. Okay, so as an employer, it's key to understand, or from my perspective, it's key to understand these 4 key points I want to highlight. It's a very different approach that not only pay as much as you can, for sure, if you can, it's always good, but in tech profiles, you have to take this key points in account, because to convince them to get in your company, to track a new good talent, and for sure to keep them motivated and engaged with your company, it's really important to understand these key 4 points. I asked Carla I even didn't want to have a digital support behind. I asked Carla that I prefer to Q&A more extended. So that will be my last slide. And for sure, if you have any questions.